Hello. In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to write equations for conic parabolas given characteristics, and we're also going to do a word problem. So let's start out with an example using some characteristics. So let's say we know the vertex. So if the vertex is 2, 8, and the focus is 2, 4, what is the equation? So we'll say write the equation for this parabola in standard form. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do here is a sketch of what we know to help us determine everything else. Now you could do this in your head if you want. I think it's really nice to visualize it though. So it doesn't have to be accurate. Because I need the point 2, 8, and 2, 4, I'll be in the first quadrant. So I'm going to make a little sketch of a coordinate plane. And then just mark some points. So I'm going to call this 2, I'll call this 4, and this 8. So now I'm going to label what we know. We know the vertex is at 2, 8, so that would be here. The focus is at 2, 4. Now that is all we need to know. We can figure out everything else. If the focus is here and the vertex is here, I know this has to be x squared, right? Because the focus is always inside that parabola. So that means that this is x squared. It also means that our p-value is negative. I also know what p is because p is the distance, right, from our vertex to the focus. And so the distance here, 8 minus 4, this is a distance of 4. I was already given the vertex, which I'm just going to rewrite here. And that is all I need to know to determine my equation. So the second thing you're going to want to do is write your equation. So because it's x squared, I'm going to have x minus 2 squared equals, I want 4 times p, so that'll be 4 times 4, but remember p is negative, it's upside down, so that'll be negative 16, and then y minus 8. And that's it. So given characteristics, given parts that we know, how could you determine an equation? Deductive reasoning is essentially the method. So let's do another example given 2 different characteristics. If the directrix is x equals 6 and the focus is 2, 4, determine the equation in standard form. And we're going to solve this using the same method. I'm going to do a sketch and then deductive reasoning to determine the equation. I'd encourage you to try to pause this video right now and do this on your own. So for my sketch, again, we're going to be in the first quadrant. This is just a coincidence. It's not always going to play out that way. But I'm going to make a little coordinate plane again. Just to help me visualize. Alright, so I need x equals 6. I'm going to have to go up to 6, and I have 2. So I'm going to do 2, 4, 6 here. And then I need to go up to at least 4, so I'm just going to put a 4 there. So the directrix is at x equals 6. Here's my direct, oops, oh, whatever, we'll move it over because it doesn't really matter. And the other reason it doesn't matter is this in no way, shape, or form is accurate. It's simply a sketch. What else? My focus is at 2, 4. So if this is the directrix and this is the focus, I know that this distance, right, 6 minus 2, this has a distance of 4. So if this has a distance of 4, my vertex is halfway in between, so that's going to be at 4. And I don't know, it'll bother me if I don't make my parabola. It's not necessary, we already know everything, right? So what do we know? We know that this is y squared. We know that p is negative. Because the distance from the focus to the directrix is 4, that means our p-value has got to be half of that, so p is equal to 2. And using this distance, we figured out the vertex, which is 4, 4. And so that is enough information. My equation is going to be y squared, so I'm going to do y minus 4 squared equals 4 times p, and p is negative, so 4 times negative 4 or negative 2 times 4, it doesn't really matter, is negative 8. And then it's x minus 4. And there's my equation. So you'll always need 2 of, I guess, the 3 things that we graph, right? You're going to need to know like your focus and vertex, vertex directrix, or focus and directrix in order to solve one of these problems. Okay, so that is essentially given characteristics, how to determine the equation. Now I'd like us to do a word problem before we wrap up this video. So a satellite dish has the shape of a parabola when viewed from the side. The dish is 48 inches wide and 24 inches deep. How far is the receiver from the bottom of the dish if it's placed at the focus? All right. So this is going to have a sketch with it. Sometimes you'll have to draw the sketch. Sometimes it'll be given to you. You could probably draw this on your own, honestly. The only thing we're not given is the vertex, but for the interest of this problem, we could just put the vertex at 0, 0, right? A satellite isn't not necessarily like on a coordinate plane, but for the purpose of helping us answer the question, we could put it at the origin. So that's going to be here, 0, 0, right? Okay. We know it's 48 inches wide. Right, so if we are looking at the parabola, it's 48 inches wide. which means that these are going to be 24, and then, oops. And then I'm going to pick a point where it's nice, 24, 24, negative 24, 24. Okay, so say this is the picture we're given. We want to know how far away the receiver is. We know that's going to be at the focus. Okay, so we are given this picture, we're given this problem. How do I solve for this? Well, because we're at the origin, the equation, right, is going to be x squared because they're facing up. 4 times some p-value, and then we're at the origin, so it's just going to be y squared. And that's all we have. But that's okay because we have coordinate points thanks to the picture that we were given. So I'm going to pick one of them. I'm going to keep things positive and substitute this into our equation. So that's going to be 24 squared equals 4 times p times 24. I just realized I made this squared. I'm not sure why. It's not supposed to be. Okay. So 24 squared is 576. You could use a calculator for that. And then I might as well multiply these together, right? 4 times 24 is 96. Now I can solve for p, which is 6. And that's all we need to do. We don't need to rewrite our equation because we want to know how far the receiver is from the bottom, and that's going to be the distance of p. So now, because it's a word problem, all that's left for us to do is answer the question. So the receiver is 6 inches, right? That's the units we've been working with according to the problem, from the bottom of the dish. And we are done.